we're about to go somewhere odd now. Times to rise and elevation starts to drop down. Our little secret, don't kiss and tell, you're so bad. I'll probably see you in hell. Welcome to hell, baby. This is podcast hell.
You don't prep for your podcast, right? It's just kind of chilling?
I do a little bit. It depends because I have a lot of experts in certain things on, and those are the episodes that I have to do a lot of prep for.
Yeah.
When I have comedians on, not so much.
Yeah, but there's nothing valuable to know about a comedian before they come on a podcast.
And I have the same kind of basket of questions that I go to if it feels organic with my comedian guests versus if I have an expert on, I'm just like going out of my way to ask questions specifically about the thing that they know about. Yeah.
I had one expert try to come on this podcast, and I told him I will make fun of you the whole time, and then he didn't respond to my email. But he reached out to me, and I was like, you have to listen to an episode. Like, it's not I don't want people getting smarter listening to this. This is a purely be dumb podcast.
I love that.
But do you feel like, do you ever feel like when you have an expert on your podcast, do you ever like want to like try to poke holes in what they're saying? Or like, do you ever have people that are like, are experts in something that you kind of don't believe or something? Or you just have like things you vouch for?
Thus far, I've only had things I vouch for. Okay. And I've been trying to book people who know about things I'm curious about. So there hasn't been, I'm certainly not smart enough to poke holes when I'm sitting across from an actual neuroscientist and she's telling me about the impact of estrogen on our brains. Like, I don't know. And I want to learn about those things.
Yeah.
I don't know that I am the person who's going to be like, gotcha, and trying to I just don't want to be antagonistic on my own show. That's not the goal.
I have the exact opposite goal. I'm pretty antagonistic on my podcast. My wife said she can listen to 10 minutes before she has to turn it off, but she was like, your show is like a video diary of what you think with someone sitting next to you. And well, I don't know if she meant it as a compliment.
Kind of her to listen to 10 minutes.
That's what she can usually bear 10 minutes. I also have like a no phones policy on my podcast, which means nothing gets fact checked, and that usually drives her insane.
Well, you got to get your dog to fact check is what you got to do.
I can do that. He might know some shit. He will fart during the podcast and kind of break up the,
As will I.
Okay, great. Then you guys will get along.
I did have chorizo before I came here.
Oh, chorizo? Is that a good fart food?
Anything's a good fart food if you really set your mind to it.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
And it is spicy.
Chorizo's like, it's like spiced sausage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you get chorizo?
Ralph's.
Oh, you made it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did Chipotle today.
Ooh. Also a farty
Pretty
choice.
farty food.
Yeah.
I also have, I have celiac disease, so I shouldn't eat as much Chipotle as I do.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
It's tough stuff.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's bread. You can't eat bread.
How severe is it though? Like, can you lick an envelope?
Can I lick an envelope?
There's gluten in envelope glue.
Are you serious?
It makes really sensitive celiacs. It could trigger a reaction.
Oh shit, I've been licking envelopes the whole time.
Well,
I wonder if that's been getting me because I have it pretty bad.
Yeah.
They told me I was like at 8.5 out of 10 when I got
Can you handle if there's contact, like if someone preps food, gluten, and then your food
I'm technically not supposed to. I'm supposed to go to the restaurant and then like interrogate the chef and go in with a flashlight and put it in the eyes of like, the people working the expo stand.
So you shouldn't be licking envelopes.
I shouldn't be licking envelopes.
Well, you're welcome. I just saved your life.
Luckily, I don't think I've mailed an envelope since the last job I had, which has been like 3 years. But I used to have a job. It was so dumb, but they made us they gave us envelopes to keep like coupons in when we would I worked at the Pantages Theater, and we would give away tickets or like have tickets on reserve for people when they came in, and they would make us do envelopes and lick it. And I had celiac. I wonder. Now I had to think back to like how often was I shitting at work, like just horrible, like celiac. Why would there be wheat in fucking envelopes? That's so weird.
I don't know. And the only reason I know this is because I worked for a severely celiac woman. And so she would talk about her struggles and she would talk about the things that would trigger reactions for her.
Yeah.
So it was like a crash course for me, a person who can eat gluten, no problem.
Yeah.
What do you miss?
What do I miss? I miss like when you go to like a event and people have brought food. I can't really eat it. Like what do you call them? Like, were you religious when you were a kid?
No.
Okay.
But non-secular people have potlucks too.
That's what it is, a potluck. I only had potlucks where like priests were telling me not to jerk off, but I'm sure there were non-religious ones too. Yeah, so I can't do potlucks. Or I can go, but I have to like bring a fucking Domino's gluten-free pizza or something.
And jerk off in the corner watching people eat hamburgers.
I do jerk off in the corner. No, it is like, that's the worst part is like people making food for you. You can't really, unless they understand. A lot of people think they know what it is, and they don't. I remember the first time we went out after I got diagnosed. It was during COVID that I found out, and we went to an Italian restaurant that had like reviews that said they could do gluten-free, and the guy came and put bread on the table, and I was like, "Oh, hey man, do you have any like gluten-free options or like some vegetables?" He just looks at the bread. He goes like, "Man, I'm pretty sure that's gluten-free," and just walks away. I was like, "This is gonna be a nightmare." Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. So it's like, it definitely was like, it was definitely hard for the first like couple months to adjust to it. But
LA overall is a good place for somebody with some type of restrictive diet to be.
Yes, people are there's a ton of gay bakeries and they really pay a lot of attention to that. If you go anywhere else in the country with a low population of gay people, there's no gluten-free food.
I used to work at a place that was far ahead of the curve, and it wasn't because they were tending to celiacs, but that kind of accidentally ended up happening. Yeah. But I worked at a Jewish ice cream / confectionery shop that was like very Orthodox Jewish. They would practice Shabbat hours. We would close at sunset Friday and open at sundown Saturday.
All right.
And they had all this like gluten-free stuff that was made in a very sterile environment specifically for that, because there's like rules in Judaism against certain, like, you're not supposed to mix things. I should know this and I don't.
It's like unleavened bread or something. Is that one of them?
Something. There's just a lot of rules around it. And so they were like really ahead of the game and had all this gluten-free stuff that was certified gluten-free and was actually safe for sensitive people. So people from all over the country would order stuff from there because nobody else really had it back then.
That's the thing. The ticket is the certified gluten-free. When you see that, you're good to go. You can fucking pig out. Although even that is not true.
Really?
Yeah, because they changed the law where they can say something's gluten-free certified if it's below a certain level. So if you have celiac, it still will make you sick. And I learned that because they had a gluten-free DiGiorno's pizza. And I saw it. I was like, holy shit. I used to eat this all the time. And I ate it. And then I was sick for like a week.
Oh, jeez.
And
did you call the number on the back of the box?
No, I probably could have.
Don't you want to do that sometimes? I've done that a couple times for products.
You call the number?
Yeah.
And you're like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah. I got like a $50 gift card from Tide once because they like ruined one of my shirts.
You know, the thing about it, I have a friend who calls and I make fun of him for it, but he's like, they 100% of the time send you free shit. Uh-huh. They just don't want a bad review.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it works, but I don't know. Something feels weird about it to me. I don't know what it is.
But then you could be like, hey, I called DiGiorno's. And then that's a party story.
What I did was on my podcast, I had a bit about DiGiorno's running for like 4 episodes where I would like make fun of them. And I felt like that was my retribution. That was my vengeance for blasting DiGiorno's out of my asshole for a week.
Which, by the way, happens with regular DiGiorno's to regular people.
Sure. Yeah.
I've done that and I can eat gluten just fine.
Do you have friends who have the celiac thing?
I have friends who are gluten-free liars.
Okay, like they have like an audition next week, so they're like watching their gluten intake or something?
They eat shitty food, processed food, and that happens to say like gluten-free and dairy-free on it, and so they think it's healthy, but it's like some frozen shit with a million ingredients in it. I think anybody who's like just getting too far away from whole foods in general is going to have issues, and then they're going to blame it on gluten, but they're not real celiacs, like when they're being good, they eat gluten-free, but then they have gluten the next day.
Yeah. I know a couple people that say they have like gluten insensitivities, but then they'll be drunk and just like eating fucking Cinnabon or something in an airport. And I'm like,
I got a lot of those in my life.
Yeah. I think here's the thing. It's fine. Do whatever the fuck you want. People lie to yourself. I don't even view those people as lying to me. They're lying to feel better about whatever fucking bullshit that makes them feel better about like eating healthy. I mean, I look, my taste buds have been destroyed from being a celiac. Like the food that I think is good, like my wife will try it and she's like, this is the most disgusting pizza I've ever had. And I'm like, I feel like I'm like Julia Roberts in that movie where she comes eating pizza. Which I've been to, by the way. I've been to that pizza place.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. It's like, fuck.
I don't know the reference.
You don't know the reference? It's in the movie Julia Roberts, and she's a lady, and she's traveling in Europe, and she's like discovering herself. It's a famous movie.
Eat, Pray, Love?
There it is.
Oh, no, I did see that. I don't remember the
There's
pizza
a pizzeria. Scene. There's a pizzeria. It's in Naples. Oh, fuck. I can't believe I can't remember it. It was really good.
Can I tell you something?
Of course.
So there's this kind of unknown thing that when you go to Venice, Italy, you shouldn't really eat the pizza there because the pizza there isn't the same as the pizza in the rest of Italy because they can't build ovens in Venice, the kind of ovens that they need for the pizza that they would do elsewhere, like in Naples. No.
Bastards.
Yeah. Just a hot travel tip for your listeners.
You hear that, guys? You go to Rome.
You eat the pizza.
Yeah.
You go to Venice. You eat other stuff.
Is Venice is the one with the waterways? Mm-hmm. Okay, I've never been there before.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, we did like an Italy trip when I was in high school. So I got Rome. I think we did Rome, Naples, and a third place that I can't remember. It was fine. I was just getting drunk. That was it. Hi. Gordon, come up, buddy.
Gordon, come here.
Get up.
You're so gorgeous. I got bit by a horse in Rome.
In the city? Mm-hmm. Whoa, like a city horse?
Like a city horse, yeah.
How bad was the horse bite?
It just startled me. It didn't break skin or anything.
Oh, so
but I'm a little afraid of horses now.
That's reasonable. The horse probably didn't go full bite.
No, but it's still, he clomped.
He clomped?
He got my arm. Like
a clomp. I picture him stomping you.
No, with his mouth.
Okay, he gave you a clomp.
Yeah. And maybe that's the wrong word. English is my second language.
Was it like, were you trying to like finger the horse? Like what happened?
I was just trying to say hello. I was doing it in an Italian accent and it didn't like it.
It found it offensive.
Like, hello. It's like, nope.
Yeah, horse bites gotta suck.
I was just too old to be getting bit by a horse,
Yeah, how old were you?
30.
Oh, no. I really thought you were a young child.
No, like this just happened.
Oh, my God. I'm going to get his ball because he just dropped it.
Yeah. He looks so sad.
So you're 30 years old. You're in Rome. You're like, I want this enchanting experience of a horse pet.
Yeah.
Did you approach it from the front?
I did. I had ridden horses before. Not a ton, but here and there.
Yeah.
So I had a good relationship with them up to that point.
And unfortunately, they don't talk too much, so it doesn't carry over.
And they sense nervous energy, and it makes things way worse.
Yeah. I got chased by dogs when I was a young boy.
That's traumatic.
Yeah, 3 dogs. It was like
Did you get away?
I did get away. My family was there. They thought it was very funny. But it traumatized me, and I hated dogs for many years. And we got this guy, and it all turned around. But, luckily for you, you were chomped by a horse at the age of 30.
Yeah. Maybe so that's what I meant to say, chomped.
You can put it in perspective pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I listened to a podcast where a comic's daughter got bit by a horse, and it, like, scarred her. Because, as a child, I'm sure you're like, horses, it's like, there's like an allure and a magic of a horse. 30 years old, you're like, it's just another fucking beast. If there's like some sort of, nuclear bomb goes off or whatever, it's like you might have to eat one. They're just They're just creatures.
They are majestic.
They are. There's wild horses in Maryland. You ever seen those guys?
No.
Yeah, they like run on the sand dunes. And they fuck in the surf. They're pretty cool.
Are they mean?
Yeah, they're wild horses, so they have to eat. They have to eat things, right? What do they eat? Horses don't eat meat. Hay.
They're vegetarians.
Okay. Well, not in your case.
And they're prey animals, so they get eaten
by other animals. I literally saw a video today of a horse chasing a bear. Yeah, but the bear had killed the horse's child.
Oh.
So the horse was.
This is like a very upsetting story.
Oh, sorry. I mean, it's okay. It's not okay for the young horse. I didn't see that part of the video. It was cropped out. But it was kind of cool to see a horse taking it to a bear. It was like a grizzly bear, and the horse fucking kicked it.
I love interspecies relationships and dynamics.
Yeah?
We have a cat and a dog at home, and the way that they play, it just never gets old to me. Because I can't stop thinking, I'm like, can they ascertain that it's not the same creature as them? Do they know that it's just some other thing? Like, what does my dog think the cat is?
Well, he has a very weird relationship with cats because there's a million in this neighborhood, and the lady across the street like rescues them, so there's always just kittens all over the other side of the pool. And he'll like stare at them, and then sometimes he'll like go for them, like he's hungry or something. And then sometimes he'll let them like come right up to him, and he's just very chill, and he's kind of like wagging his tail. So we can't tell if he wants to eat them or play with them, and it's too much of a risk to just like let him go.
Of course.
One time he did put a whole cat in his mouth, and like the lady, she's a very nice lady, our neighbor, but I was walking Gordon, and she had like a kitten in her hand, and she came up and she was like, "Oh, Gordon, you want to meet the cat?" And he was like, he like sat back and was like, whatever, the hackles went up. And I was like, he doesn't really seem comfy. And then before I could even get the sentence out, she like put the cat, like it was like a little cat, so it could fit in her hand. She just didn't
understand body language.
She just came right down.
Yeah.
And he opened his mouth and put his mouth around the cat in her hand and just held it for 2 seconds and then let it go. He didn't bite her.
Yeah.
But he just held her hand and the cat. And then when he went out, the cat went meow, and the lady just turned around and went back. And then I went over afterwards. I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I didn't even pressure." But he just like let her know calmly, "I'll rip your hand off and swallow this cat whole." He will still show glimpses of like pit bull.
Yeah.
Like, "I'll fuck you up."
As he should, and people should be respectful and understand that. Like, I love pit bulls. I always get so excited about them, but I always approach them cautiously. Any big dog, even if it's like a Labradoodle, even if it's a Chihuahua, whatever, like you cannot just get in a dog's face and not respond to body language. They're trying to communicate with you through their body language. They're trying to be like, no.
Yeah. People fuck with pit bulls. It's weird. I've had like back when I lived in West Hollywood and I would walk him, you would get like very sometimes positive and sometimes negative reactions from people. Like I've had people be like, "Get that thing away from me." Like say that to me as he's just walking down the street.
Horrible.
And then, a lot of white women and black dudes love him.
Yeah.
Like black dudes like dap him up on the street. Like he has more street cred than I do.
Oh, good. I know I am that like classic white woman that's like, "Come here, Pitbull."
Yeah,
like,
no,
jump in my lap.
It's okay. They're adorable.
Yeah.
You're forgiven.
They are just so cute. They have just the most handsome faces.
And big heads.
I love it.
Sometimes it's hard when like these Chihuahuas. It's like the head's so small.
Can be.
Yeah, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. Greyhounds are like that too. Very tiny heads.
See, I'm a small dog person because I like a portable dog.
Well, that would be great. Like you can take your dog on a plane.
And I do.
Yeah. We could take him on a plane. We just have to do that thing where we dress him up like a man.
Well, there you go.
Like you put like 3 dogs on each other's shoulders with a top hat and a trench coat. Maybe we could get away with it.
I think you could.
Yeah, they don't let you. Literally, there's no way to fly them unless you do the bullshit where you like put them in the
Or you take one of those there's semi-private planes that are specifically for flying with your dog. And so.
Yeah, we looked it up.
Thing.
It's like $7,000 and they fly once a week to like Tennessee. Like they don't even go to major cities. It's very weird. It would theoretically be cheaper if you could organize like 25 people to fly to a city you need to go to on the same day and back. It's less expensive than getting a plane ticket. But who wants to fucking plan like that? That's oh, here it is. You need to go? You done?
Gordon.
All right. Very communicative dog without barking.
Yeah.
He's only barked like twice.
Oh.
In his whole life, at least that we've known him. And every time he barks, he's like, oh my.
What have I done?
Who am I? See, you see him? He's trying to come back in. I literally just let him fucking out. I told this is what he does. He has no respect for the pod.
Do you need to get him?
If he does one more swipe,
then he comes back in. Oh, it's like you heard. Oh no, I hear your wife.
Now she's gonna take him. This happens about 20 minutes in on every single podcast. Is the Gordon exit, enter. I think he's good.
I get it. My dog will bark.
Your dog's a barker?
Yeah.
I think little dogs, they have to be. Okay, you're in now for the pod.
Gordon, why don't you come up on the couch?
How long have you been doing your pod for?
Seriously, since May.
Yeah.
And I say that because it was something I started doing during the pandemic a little bit. And I did, to bring it back around to dogs, but I did it for like a couple of months. And then my first dog got very ill and I stopped everything and just took care of her and didn't like totally stop doing the podcast. And then I moved and my equipment was in storage for a while and I didn't bring it back till, May of last year.
Yeah. I did a similar thing. No, my dog didn't die, but we had it for COVID. And then I was like, I'm going to take a week off. Okay, I'll take 2 years off. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll come back.
You just can never take time off. That's what I understand from this iteration is not only am I never going to take time off, I'm also doing 6 episodes a month right now and looking at going to 8.
What the fuck? Really?
It's so hard. It's like breakneck speed, yeah.
Are you doing like a Patreon or something? Is that where the extra episodes
are? I'm not.
are?
I'm just trying to hurry up and get it fucking off the ground.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I mean, it's like... what the fuck else are we going to do? Stand up?
But at least you have your nice little
podcast
my
nice sign. I'm probably going to change the name of the podcast.
That's terrific.
This makes it sound like I want to talk about like religious stuff.
Do you think so?
Podcast hell?
Oh, that wasn't my interpretation. I just thought it was like
I've had people... I'm glad you don't feel that way. I didn't feel that way. I was like, well, clearly it's a pun on my name. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are like, why don't you talk about religion more? I'm like, I couldn't care less. No, I had one guy come on here who was like really into religion. And then like his clip went viral. No, not viral, whatever. It got the most views anything I've ever gotten on TikTok had. So then people were commenting like on other clips, like, why aren't they talking about more religion?
Oh.
And I think like people just thought, oh, that's got to be podcast hell. We're talking about Christianity. It's got to...
That's fair, but you can't... Yeah. This is kind of the trap with virality, is that if you go viral for a thing that isn't necessarily the niche that you want to grab hold of, you got to be careful. It's like, are you going to sell your soul to just talk about that? Are you going to change everything and make your podcast about hell? Or are you going to consider, you just got to be really careful what you commit to, because I think you and I both have probably seen people go viral for something very specific and then turn their whole career into that.
You got to do it. My wife went viral on TikTok because she made a video about like pants, pockets in women's pants. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize you guys don't have pockets.
Yeah, not really.
What the fuck?
It's been a conspiracy.
What's going on with that? Very weird.
They don't want us to have IDs or money or wallets or weapons or freedom. So they take away our pockets.
I support that.
Yeah.
So my wife made a video where she's like alternatives for pockets. I think she like tagged it like pocket TikTok or something. And it got like 250,000 views, and a bunch of people were like, oh my God, great. When's your next video? And she never made another one. She was like, it was bullshit. I was just bored in COVID. I don't want to be the pocket girl. But she had like a whole, like literally it was like a lane on the highway opened up. Mm-hmm. I was like,
she could have been pocket girl.
Be fucking pocket girl.
Talk.
Pocket. Yeah. Oh my God. There's her fucking podcast.
Yeah.
I got to get her up here. I think
I want a piece of pocket talk.
That video's got to still be up on her TikTok. I mean, it just like, it exploded. It was like the first video she did on TikTok.
It's always the dumbest ones. The ones that I spend so long trying to be like doing all this cinematography and editing and writing, and I work so hard, or I spend so long like doing all this stuff for a specific clip, and then I will just say something lying in bed and that'll go viral, versus the clip that I work so hard on like gets fucking no traction at all.
Yeah. That's the game we play, right, Gordon?
You want to Gordy boy, what? You have your ball.
He's got his ball.
You have us.
I think
there you go. Yeah,
there you
go.
There you go.
Good boy, make yourself cozy. There we go, Bubbas. What are your nicknames for him?
Right now, pain in the ass. It's pissing me off. Last night, my wife was like, he's crowding me in bed. He sleeps in our bed. Mm-hmm. It's his bed. And I was like, oh, I'll get him. And I just like kind of like just hooked my arm and like just kind of pulled him off my wife so she could stretch out. And he like huffed, turned around, farted in my face audibly, jumped off the bed, walked out of the room, and then like sat down with his like where he could like look in and see us, but like didn't come back into the room. Like he was so pissed. I'm like, for like moving him an inch. He's such a fucking spoiled
toddlers. I had a moment like that with my dog a couple weeks ago. I was traveling and I left him with his best friend while I was gone. And his best friend is a Pomeranian that looks just like him. And they play just 24/7 when they're together.
Yeah.
And I come home to pick him up, and it was like picking up a kid that didn't want to come back from summer camp. Like, he was so fucking mopey. He was mad at me all day. He was laying around, like, so sad that I took him away from his friend. I'm like, cool, glad you didn't miss me at the fuck all.
Yeah, they kind of move on. He's got, your dog's not a rescue dog, is it?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get him from a groomer, but it was a rehoming situation, and he was still very young.
What's a rehoming?
A woman got him from a breeder, and then she had him for a couple months and couldn't keep him, and I got him from her.
Okay. That makes sense. That's a rehoming.
Yeah.
We had to rehome a pit bull, or not a pit bull, a husky.
It was a pre-rescue.
A pre-rescue?
Yeah, like he would have ended up being a rescue dog if I didn't intercept.
That's like a private adoption.
Correct.
You adopt, but before the kid goes to foster care.
Correct.
You just find like a pregnant teenager. You're like,
that's a good way of putting it.
Are you upset about that?
Yeah. Anywho, your husky?
Yeah, we had a husky when I was a kid. My parents were getting divorced, and so my dad was trying to compete. And he told my sister, who had horrible grades her whole childhood, he was like, she kept asking for a dog, and he was like, if you get straight A's, you can get a dog. So, of course, my sister just fucking turns it on. Only time ever she's had good grades, straight A's, aces it. And then she chooses a husky. We didn't even have a backyard. We just were in a fucking apartment. And she gets a husky. And my dad's like in the army, so he's like gone most of the time. So it was just like me and my sister like raising this fucking wild dog that requires so much training. So much training.
Huskies need so much exercise.
It was a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare. Every day that dog would get loose and we'd have to chase it through the neighborhood. To walk it, I would wrap its leash around the front of my bike and just let it pull me for like an hour, like a fucking sled dog.
At least you were able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, look, her name was Sasha. She was very sweet, I'm sure, but she was just a terror. I mean, we were not the proper home for a husky. So after a year, my dad took it somewhere. I don't know. I hope he took it back to the...
Yeah.
We don't really know.
You didn't really talk about it?
He said he just took it back to the pound, which maybe that's what he did. It's also a husky. She got fucking adopted.
Oh, for sure.
Those are...
Yeah.
That pound was our husky and 5,000 pit bulls.
It's so sad. That's really the case all the time.
That's all they are.
It's all pit bulls and chihuahuas.
You can really, it's like buying low on a stock. I mean, if you like pit bulls, there's a ton of free ones. You just go grab them. He was like, when we got him, he was very chill. That's why because it's at the pound, everybody's barking, and the dog, like you come in and the dogs are kind of losing their shit, and he was just like hanging out. My wife just pointed to him.
So sweet. You're a sweet boy.
And he worked his way. We're talking about you the whole fucking podcast, aren't we?
We really are.
He's really making himself He's making himself the story.
But I am that person that's like just dogs above all else.
Yeah.
I just love them so much. They're so pure. They're so pure.
They're pure. They're pure. So like kids are far below dogs?
Depends on the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in general, yes.
I'd say I was always like dogs and kids. Well, for a while I didn't like dogs, so kids. And then I got a dog and I was like, even. And now, we're getting close to kid time.
Yeah.
So now the kids are coming back up.
That's exciting. But here's where I make my assessment.
Yeah.
I want to say hi to like almost every dog. I barely want to say hi to any kids. Like I love the kids I love, but I'm not excited about other kids. I'm excited about other dogs.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, also dogs are, you're not like, I mean, are the kids you love are kids in your family? Mm-hmm. Okay. That was a weird clarification.
It needed to be made.
Probably didn't. I could have assumed it.
It's fair.
Okay. You're like, nope, random kids.
No, just this first grade that's down the street.
It's weird because like with family members and like, it's like sometimes the kid like looks like someone or if it's your own kid, it looks like you. You can like attach stuff to kids that you really can't attach to dogs. Mm-hmm. Like dogs are just like, there's no way to be like, I wanted that dog to be a doctor. That dog had so much more potential. It's like they're just dogs. You get to be present with them because they're nothing but present.
Correct.
So it like forces a better version of you, And
they're not judging you for all the shit that you're judging yourself on and that other people in your life are probably
That's
judging
true.
you on.
They don't even see colors.
Yeah.
They don't even know what color your sweater is. I remember like when we first got the dog being like, well, obviously if we're ever like having sex or if I'm jerking off, the dog's got to leave the room. That's like, I can't have him around for intimate moments. And now he's just like right at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, get out of the way. Like there's no, it's just, he's just fucking around.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. And on the flip side, I think about how like the presidents that have had dogs and those dogs don't know that their family is like the president.
Oh yeah, isn't that funny? Like like even the bad ones, like Hitler's dog. Mm-hmm. Hitler's dog and Obama's dog love Hitler and Obama the same.
Correct.
And there's also like many photos of Hitler being very nice to his dog.
He probably loved his dog.
Yeah, like a German Shepherd, of course. The most fucking rigid of all the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hitler was a piece of shit, right, Gordon? I do think your kids' love towards you is a pure love too in the beginning.
Right.
It gets fucked up because
they start learning that you're a person, not just a caretaker.
Yeah, that is like how long can you maintain, or even should you try to maintain that your kid thinks you're like you got it figured out?
You can't maintain it.
Well, I know you can't, but should you even try to, or should you, as soon as the kid can talk, you have to be like, I'm fucked up. I was addicted to pills.
No,
when
I don't think so.
You can't like just immediately tell them like, I just want to get this out of the way.
Not before you tell them Santa Claus doesn't exist. I think there's got to be like a timeline for certain revelations.
See, I struggle with that. I like the truth, and I don't really want to tell my kid that Santa Claus is real. But I'm like, I also remember the kid that told me that Santa Claus wasn't real. I'm like, do I want my kid to be that kid?
No.
Oh, do I want my kid to be the one that I go like, hey, there's no Santa Claus, but all these other dumb kids think there are, so you just don't tell the dumb kids. I don't want to put that in. I don't know. It's hard. It's like, do you just lie? These are all questions I should figure out.
You lie to keep the magic going because it's going to evaporate eventually anyway. Like, let their lives be magical for at least a little bit.
Some kids get very mad and some kids don't care.
Yeah.
Like my wife said she didn't care when she found out Santa wasn't real.
I think I didn't care because I was already assuming it by the time I don't even remember definitively when I found out, and because it must have just not been shocking.
I remember what happened. My mom, she fucked up. We'd always get like one gift from the family from Santa, and everything else was from mom and dad. But it was like Santa would do one gift. And then she took me to the fucking store, and she got a fire extinguisher. And then she said it was from Santa.
A fire extinguisher? A fire extinguisher?
I think there was a couple years where my parents were not having a good time, and the gifts were like fire extinguishers, just like things the house needed, like shower curtains for a 5-year-old. No, I watched her. I watched her buy it, and then and then I knew. I was mad. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably just lie to my kid. I think that's probably the way to do it.
Probably.
Yeah. It's going to be weird to I was raised pretty Catholic. I went to Catholic school and stuff. Not religious now. But it's a hard conversation because I've just been able to kind of avoid it with family and stuff. But once the kid gets baptized in age, you're like, what do you do? I just do it? Help me solve this. What do I do?
It's a good question.
Because I'm part of me is it's just a chance for the family to get together and celebrate the baby. And I'm sure that you can do a version of it where the priest isn't grilling you or anything. It's not even about that. It's just I don't care.
No, I know. I have those questions about if I were to have a boy, would I get him circumcised? Because it's a thing that they do in the Jewish faith, but how do I feel about it?
We decided that one.
Did you? Where'd you land?
Letting it ride.
Letting it ride.
Letting it ride.
Okay.
He has an anteater.
Yeah.
He's fucking going for it. He's got a little hood.
Can I ask a very personal question?
Sure.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Do you worry that if you have a son, your dicks won't look the same and it'll be confusing for him?
I don't plan on comparing them too often.
I know, but he's going to see
it. Son, come in here.
He's going to see it.
Yeah, but I'll just be
it's inevitable.
It is inevitable. Maybe. I don't know. I remember every time I've seen my dad's dick, and none of them were awesome times. So I feel like I would just like to avoid it as best. I understand that robes have a certain length.
Your son will see your dick.
My son will see my dick.
Yeah.
I think I'll just probably have to explain to him that he has a freak dick. But that was better than cutting off a part of it. That there was no great option as somebody who's not into circumcision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's... and also, they can always go get it circumcised later if they want to.
No one's going to do that.
People do that. If you get it infected... If you accidentally
that would be so much more.
If you accidentally dip it in Chipotle hot sauce, or
it's
something.
Just such an easy. When you get it done as a baby right away, you're healed after 24, 48 hours.
You're talking about circumcision?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about if you, as an adult, people get circumcised as an adult.
How scary.
How scary? Yeah, of course. No, it's horrifying. That's why they do it to babies.
Yeah.
Because they don't fucking know what's going on.
Right.
No, it's the worst. It definitely, that's one I feel confident on. And also, this is the least popular opinion to talk about circumcision. Like Andrew Yang, you know Andrew Yang?
The presidential candidate?
The presidential candidate, Andrew Yang.
From 8 years ago?
I'm a big Yang Gang guy. I love Andrew Yang.
I just haven't heard that name in a while.
Listen to his podcast. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
So when he started, he was he ran basically on WWE wrestlers should have health insurance and you shouldn't circumcise your kids. And then after 2 weeks, whoever was running his campaign was you can never mention circumcision again. People fucking hate it. Because it's one of those things that's nobody really wants to think about the ethics of it.
Yeah.
It's something that we do as a society. Most of us do. And you don't really want to think of it as cutting baby dicks, but it's totally that. It's 100% that.
I didn't used to think about it, and then I attended my nephew's bris, so I was like there when it happened, and the whole thing was. Yeah. It wasn't traumatic for him. It was like traumatic, I think, for his mom was like struggling with it, and it was just this emotional thing. And I had never really thought about it that deeply until I was there experiencing it, someone going through it. And I don't know how I feel about it, if I'm being honest.
It's weird. My mom called me one time because she had a friend who had a son, and her friend didn't know what to do. And my mom said she'd never thought about it. And then she asked me, she was like, with a trembling voice, she was like, are you sad that we, and I was like, I'm not mad at you. It's okay. I know you did your best. I would not circumcise my son. And then she was like, maybe that's the advice I'll give my friend. But like, yeah, I mean, it is such a choice because I guess you also go like, you know, kids, they're looking for a way to make fun of each other. Right. It's like, do you really want to give your kid like a weird looking dick? But then, I don't know, I also, in my childhood, no one ever saw my dick.
Yeah. But it's also weird that we sit here and we say it's weird looking when it's the natural version of it.
It is just how a dick's supposed to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how they look in Europe.
That's true. I don't know that for a fact that it's true. I've never seen dicks in Europe, but I know that they don't.
Well, I didn't just get bit by a horse when I was in Italy.
That's hilarious. Yeah, are they all? There's like most of them are like that. They probably see
based on my surveys. Yeah,
they probably. there's tally mark. There's like I bet when they see a circumcised dick, the ladies over there are like, "What the fuck is wrong?"
I think so.
Why are you missing the cap?
Yeah. Yeah,
I feel good about that one. That one I'm not struggling with.
What else are you struggling with?
Santa's
the big one.
Santa,
you gotta roll with. Like, here's the thing: you do have to lie about Santa, and then when it feels like it's time, then you'll have to figure out how to like integrate reality.
Is there a way that you can like just not lie, but just like let it go? Like when the kid's like, "Oh, Santa's coming," you just go like, Like if I'm just not
with trepidation,
if I'm just not into Santa, and I just never actually say yes or no. I read this book. There's do you know who Sam Harris is? Mm-hmm. So he wrote this book called Lying. It's the most insane fucking book of all time. And I like Sam Harris, but in this book he makes the argument that you should never ever lie in any circumstance. You should either change the subject or tell the truth.
I don't agree with that at all.
It is, and then he starts like going through examples of like, here's a situation where people think you should lie, and it's like your grandmother's on her deathbed, and she asked you if you really liked the food she made as a kid, and you want to say yes because it's the last thing she'll remember, and he says like, change the subject or tell her you didn't like the food. And you're just reading it like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? I read like 5 pages. I was like, I showed it to my wife. I was like, this is the craziest book ever. This is insanity.
Yeah.
To never lie is not possible.
Here's the thing. I like Sam Harris. And there's so many podcasters like him. I don't know what his credentials are outside of that. We got to stop just giving all these people book deals. We got to fucking stop. Because I'm on the side of TikTok that is making fun of Mel Robbins and her book.
Who's Mel Robbins?
She's like a big female podcaster, and she has this like let them theory. So she's like, oh, anytime someone is mistreating you, let them, right? As if to let go of it and just, but people, and it's funny, looping back to the gluten-free example. This girl was in a restaurant and the waiter like brought this non-gluten-free bread, even though that's what she ordered. And the video's like, let them. And then she just like dies of fucking celiacs. So in ways that theory just doesn't add up, and it sounds very similar to this, where I think people will just take an idea that is good with some application. Like, don't lie is certainly great advice with some application, but you can't just bulldoze the nuances of life because you have some fun theory that's going to get the books to fly off the shelves.
I think that's true. I think it's also like, I don't believe in the moons. Like whatever your birthday is, what is
astrology.
that called? Thank you. That's made up to me. But I am a Libra. And we believe in balance. So I do think that there's like...
I've never heard such a fast contradiction.
Yeah, I got a lot of those. No, but like I do think there's like... Yeah, you just like... There's truth. There's a little bit of truth in everybody's argument. And you have to be able to like acknowledge that and kind of like roll with it, you know? So I probably will just let the Santa thing go. I don't know about the baptism. Maybe we just find like a back alley priest. Maybe we hire a guy to pretend to be a priest.
I mean, that you live in a town of actors.
I do. We're not going to live here though. We're going to be back east by the time this happens, probably. So I got to get a good Rockville, Maryland actor. Are there any of those?
They exist. Yeah.
It'll just be us. What I'll probably do is I'll probably get godparents who also are like fake Catholic.
There you go.
I've got a couple in mind. People who pretend that they still believe stuff, but actually secretly don't give a shit.
That's gotta be such a massive chunk of millennials that have grown up in this and feel like you feel and aren't sure. And maybe just abide by the traditions just to get the family together for a celebration and just to keep and save those good qualities of those events, right? And be like, you know what? I'm not going to take this so seriously, but I'm not going to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater.
We have like a family prayer that we do that's a French song that my grandfather taught us. And it's like, I haven't prayed like, you know, genuinely in earnest for many years, but like I get so happy when we do that like French prayer song.
Yeah.
Like
you don't pray
family.
when you get like really killer diarrhea. You're not like, please
I'm
God,
like,
I know I haven't talked to you in a while, but I really need
I go
you right
thank you.
There's times when
5 pounds.
I find myself praying like, oh, need it now.
Do you really like in moments of
chaos? Sometimes, but I've
you throw one
more.
up for the big guy.
I was always spiritual and not religious.
Yeah.
But I also am in like 12-step programs, and so I've connected more to it through that.
Isn't that like a big part of 12-step programs?
It is.
Okay. How's that going?
Good. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm in Al-Anon, which is like Control Freaks Anonymous.
Oh, I thought Al-Anon was like for friends of alcoholics.
It is. But that's kind of what happens to you when you grow up in those environments is you become a control freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks. Because I know a couple people that have had those types of family situations, and they're all kind of like very...
Type A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Sorry you went through that as a kid.
No, it's okay. It's not even necessarily that it's something. I'm one of the people in there that I'm like, oh, I don't have this kind of textbook alcoholism around me necessarily that some of the people coming into it do.
Yeah.
But I think having been born in Soviet Russia, first of all.
I didn't know that. You were born in Russia?
I was born in Ukraine when it was still the USSR. It wasn't even Ukraine yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm old. So my mom was only 21. Like she had just turned 21. My dad was just kind of an oddball, not really capable of being there for me in certain ways. And their relationship was not going well at all. So in a lot of ways, while that's not like textbook alcoholism necessarily, it was a lot of me having to step in and A, not get my emotional needs met, B, have to cater to the emotional needs of my caretakers.
Sure.
So that will turn somebody into a type A controlling person.
Yeah. I can imagine. When did you come to America?
I was 5.
Okay. Do you still have like memories of, I guess, Ukraine and stuff?
A little bit. Just a couple traumatic memories.
Yeah. This is fun.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah,
is this a fun talk now?
No, it's not traumatic in like I remember a tornado. I remember coming home and there was like a tornado coming, so we had to like rush home from the bazaar, which was our like kind of farmers market situation.
Well, Russian bazaars. Mm-hmm. That's
the OG farmers market.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah, so we were coming back from that. My dad's like outside. We didn't have a vacuum, so when you wanted to clean the rugs, you would take them outside and hang them on clotheslines and beat them with what looked like a fly swatter.
Okay.
Just to like get the dust off of it.
Yeah.
And I remember him like being outside and trying to get these rugs back in and stuff. And I remember another like a thunderstorm. Apparently I had real issues with weather.
Yeah.
Had a lot of weather problems going on.
There was a tidal wave.
Really.
Russia's only tidal wave, of course, struck.
But I don't have a lot of memories from before then.
So did you not have a vacuum because you guys were desperately poor, or there's no vacuums because you were poor? Mm-hmm. Okay.
We were so poor, yeah.
Wow. I had a friend last night. I was getting dinner with him. He's from India, and he goes, yeah, when I was a kid, we just didn't have any toys, and I was like, oh wow, man, that must have been hard, because he's like from India. I'm like picturing him playing with like dead snakes and shit. And then my friend goes like,
he brings them back to life with the instrument. They come out of the
plays
basket.
like that little recorder. And then my friend goes like, didn't you grow up in New Jersey? And he's like, well, yeah, after we moved here. He was like, well, did you have like video games? He's like, yeah, I had like a PlayStation. We're like, oh, what the fuck, man? You had toys? He's like, well, I just mean like I just share them with my brother. We're like, shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah, that's not the same.
That's not this. Yeah. You have poor immigrant stories. No vacuum.
I had toys in Cleveland. Like that's where I grew up.
Okay, Cleveland. So Cleveland, it got better. You guys had items.
Cleveland was like normal. Yeah.
Do you remember your first vacuum?
No, but I do remember actually my parents. They used to fall for like door-to-door salesmen.
Oh yeah.
And there was this $1,000 vacuum in the mid to late 90s that everyone was getting. It was called a Rainbow. It was $1,000. Even back then, with inflation, it's like, what, that's like $5,000 or something. And the point of this Rainbow, and it looked like a shop vac, right? It was
Rainbow or Rambo?
Rainbow.
Rainbow.
That was the name of it. And it looked like a shop vac, and you would fill it with water. And so it was like a shampoo rug.
Okay.
It was just like a crazy vacuum that was supposed to do everything. And I just remember thinking how silly it was that they spent that much money on a vacuum, but maybe it's because they didn't get to have one before.
Yeah, they were probably like, holy fuck, we can afford $1,000 Cleveland Rainbow vacuum. Yeah. Let's do it.
That's so funny. I haven't thought about that in so long.
Yeah. Well, this podcast brought it out. Remember that. Yeah, 3 of my 4 grandparents immigrated here.
From where?
One's from Mexico, one's from Germany, one was from France. And they all seem to like really dig America and American shit.
People from elsewhere really, really dig. I just remember having my mind blown by string cheese. Like I came here and I was, and this is one of my memories, I guess, from when I was 5 or 6. But my uncle was eating string cheese, and I thought he was just eating a banana in that type of way. I was like, what is that? I didn't know about mozzarella.
That's probably pretty great.
Yeah.
String cheese is already pretty cool as a kid.
It is.
The idea of like the first viewing of it. I can't imagine like coming from like the like true poverty into like the fun like Nerf games of the 90s. Mm-hmm. That must have made it even like Nintendo. Crossfire must have fucking blown your mind.
Everything blew my.
Yeah.
We had neighbors that had water mattresses, and I was like, "This is the coolest shit ever." Oh yeah,
those things are cool. Yeah, those things are fucking amazing.
Everything was cool back then, and I think they were cool not just because I was an immigrant, but because the stuff back then was fun. Remember those plastic glow-in-the-dark stars you would put on the ceiling? Like, I love that shit.
I feel like I had like thousands. Mm-hmm. Like you could do your whole ceiling and just make it like you're looking at the fucking universe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, man, I do. I mean, I don't know. It's hard because I don't have kids now, but like I do feel like the shit in the 90s was more fun. Like I just think of like the TV shows we watched and everything. I was like, it was like the last great childhood. Like now, with the fucking phones and everything,
screens,
it's like you got like
tablets,
8. Yeah, like
Bluey.
Louie?
Bluey.
Oh, well, actually, I do like Bluey. Bluey's actually really
pretty good, actually. I take
Bluey's
it back.
great. Bluey makes me fucking.
I babysat a lot. I know Bluey.
I was with my nieces up in Boston, and they were watching. They're fucking 2. They're just playing. I'm watching Bluey. I cried in like 5 straight episodes. I was like, these are lessons I need now.
You know about Miss Rachel?
Oh man, my niece. You put on fucking Miss Rachel. She just. There's nothing else happening in the room. She's mesmerized.
So they have some good stuff. But I agree. I think we had the best stuff. Like, I learned English from watching Rugrats the summer that I moved here.
Okay. Tommy Pickles, Chucky, the
Angelica.
twins, Phil and Dill, Angelica. Yeah. I remember there's one episode of Rugrats. I don't know why it sticks in my mind, but it was like Reptar on Ice. They go to see it. And that at one point, a lady goes, Reptar, you have come back to me. I fucking think of that like once a week. It's like the dinosaur's on ice skates and he can't see because of his stupid dinosaur head. Yeah, Rugrats is great. I like Doug.
Me too.
I related to like not being able to tell a girl I liked her. So Doug was my shit. Then they moved it over to ABC and it got all fucked up. And they changed like like some of the green characters were purple now. It fucking sucked. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad it worked out in America and Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if I was there now.
In Cleveland?
In Ukraine.
Oh, in Ukraine. Oh my God. You don't still know, there's no like family members and
There's
stuff.
There's a few, yeah.
Are they doing all right?
Relatively. They're alive.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Jesus, what a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about any of that stuff. I have no opinion other than like it sucks and I feel bad for people.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
It sucks. Yeah. You don't have to tell me your thoughts on how to solve it.
No, it's one of those things. I have to compartmentalize it because I'm from there and because I do still have connections to there. And last year, the apartment building that we lived in got bombed.
Like your old apartment.
The old apartment building. And the unit that my family had in there, they had in the family for like 25 years. So it was this thing that I like had wished I'd been able to go and visit it and couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And we had plans to go in 2022 and then the war started. I had never been back.
It's crazy. It's I watched like a thing that was talking about the drone warfare that they do. Mm-hmm. And it looks like they're playing like a video game. And you're just like, it's a video game where in the end, one person burns. I mean, it's just so fucking intense. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's, in a way, it's like the scariest war I can imagine with that type of stuff. And I watch all the fucking World War I, World War II documentaries where they're just, throwing mustard gas in a group of 100 men and people slowly die.
It's crazy what governments are willing to do to people.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Like, I remember both my grandparents were in World War II, my grandfathers, and they really bonded over that. One of my grandfathers was, I always have to couch this. Mm-hmm. He was drafted against his will into the German army. And then I knew where that was going after. And then my other grandfather was in the French army.
Oh shit!
And they were boys. Mm-hmm. They got along pretty well. Not during the war,
sure,
but like after, when their kids got married. But no, they would always like when they would get together. They would like that's how they would talk about like how much they hated like politicians. And it was also weird because like my grandfather was like, obviously my dad was in the army, but my grandfather like really hated the military because of his experience, like obviously like in the war. So he would like talk so much shit to me about like about guys in the army while my dad was in the army. It was very weird. Like we'd go on to base and my dad would like salute like to go in, and my grandfather would like elbow me and be like, fucking weird.
But he has permission to do that, having been through what he went through.
Yeah,
nobody else like you and I can't do that.
No, and I also don't. Like I have a lot of respect for dudes in the military, but
it's not their fault. And they have every reason to hate the people. The decision makers that send them out are never the ones putting themselves on the lines.
Yeah. Unless you get, I don't know, maybe unless you make it a rule that you have to have served to be like, if you're going to send somebody in to die, I feel like you should have an understanding for what that's like.
Totally.
By the way, that opinion I just said, I don't know if I believe that. Because that would mean every single person that's president has to have been in the army. I don't know if I believe that.
I don't know if that's a terrible rule.
It might not be. I mean, that's like they do that in Israel.
It takes so much discipline to. In Israel, everybody goes.
You have to be in the army.
You have to serve. Yeah. Women and men.
Yeah. Gal Gadot.
Yep.
Get in there, gal.
Let me tell you, nowhere has hotter TSA agents than Israel.
I can imagine that.
Their airport is just like model after model. You're like, I'm hiding something. Please touch me.
Well, you also like have to be.
Hi, baby.
You have to be in like top physical shape to be in the Army. So if everybody has to be in the Army, you got a fucking nation of hot people.
It's true.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to put everybody in America in the Army, we would not have the obesity problem we currently suffer from. You can't be like wailing out and be in the Army.
I'm touching you. My dog does this too.
Oh, the little paw?
I'm going to paw you until you touch me.
Yeah.
I know. You're so darling. You're so precious.
Good boy.
Would you, I don't know, what branch would you do if you had to do military?
I used to piss my dad off and say Navy because he was in the Army. Mm-hmm. But I probably would have Air Force because way fewer of them die.
Yeah.
It's way less scary. Just hang out in a command center and go like, they're over there. Take a left. Thank you for your service. No, I don't know. I when I was a kid, I was going to go in the Army. That's what I thought I was going to do. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. I'm not like I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
I know. I wouldn't want to fight, but there's part of me that's like, could I survive Marine training? I'm curious about that part of myself.
Can you do like push-ups and pull-ups and stuff?
Can, yeah.
Maybe you could. Marines aren't the ones that are. I mean, it's obviously hard, but the one that's really hard are like the SEALs, right?
That's what it is.
Like SEAL training is where they like.
But isn't that part of the Marines?
No, I think the Marines is different.
Okay.
The Marines is like its own thing. The Navy SEALs are like the ones that like. That's where you have to fucking.
Oh, it's Navy SEALs. That's what they're,
Yeah, the Navy SEALs, they like, you have to be underwater for like 3 minutes, and that's where they, I mean, do you ever watch Special Forces, World's Toughest Test on Fox?
I wanted to see Tom Sandoval suffer.
He's great, by the way.
Yeah.
He does really good on that show.
He has a redemption arc. Like, I watched him on, what was that show that just ended? Oh my God. It's the game show where they're in a castle.
Traitors?
Traitors, yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's on a season, Traitors?
Yeah, he was on
I've watched that show
season.
too. Okay.
It was good. It was a great season.
I liked him on World's Toughest Test is like my favorite show.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, it's just celebrities getting really badly injured. And then that voiceover guy comes on and says something hilarious like Anthony Scaramucci has injured his calf muscle. And I'm like, yes, more like this. Why isn't all reality TV? I mean, they're also like, they're doing like, you Google it, they're doing real SEAL shit. Yeah. Like, it's obviously like dumbed down so that like
supervised.
No one's going to die. Yeah. But like the part where they were this last season, they were like locking arms and leaning backwards into the ocean where the surf was running over their head. Mm-hmm. That is waterboarding.
Right.
And they're doing it for like 3 minutes.
And cold water, I think, is like the toughest. That would be my biggest hurdle with it because that's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Denise Richards is like, what the fuck am I doing here? I was in Wild Things. I'm not a Navy SEAL. I quit. It's funny to watch them quit because they never want to say I quit. They're always like, what do you want to do? And they're like, can you turn the camera off for a second? I fucking quit.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched like where Tara Reid quit, and I was like, this is so sad.
Oh, yeah. Tara Reid had a rough go.
Yeah, she did.
She was, although I heard that like she's doing better now.
Oh, good.
And she credits it to, I don't know, getting punched in the face by JoJo Siwa or whatever happened to her on that show. So you think you would do Marines?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think I would want to see how I would do.
You think you're like, you have military service in you. You think you could take a life?
No.
Oh, well, that's kind of an important part of being in the Marines.
For sure.
You can't be like a peacenik Marine.
No, I would be, if I like had to do it, I would try to be a fucking Coast Guard. I couldn't cut it. I want a cushy life.
You just like, but you like the training part would be fun.
Yeah, I would want to undergo the training because I would want to see how I perform.
Everybody would be like in their training. They'd be like, I'm here to honor my father. Like, I'm here to I'm here to protect my country. You'd be like, I want
I'm
a
here
good
for the
workout.
metrics, yeah.
I'm here for the quads. You know, I want to get want to really wail on the bis and the tris for a couple weeks.
Well, I've been weirdly obsessed with pull-ups lately. Like, I couldn't do them for a long time, and then I started doing them a couple of months ago, and now I'm up to 6, which is very good for a woman.
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just really proud of myself for that, and so I think in that mindset, I'm like, oh, I bet I could impress some people.
I started doing the pull-up assist at the gym where you can like sit on your knees and then take off some weight. But I have to put the weight all the way to the bottom. I have to take off as much weight as possible.
Yeah.
And then I can do like 10. But it's that's like the best workout. Mm-hmm. When I was in Harlem, back when I 10 years ago, there was like a couple months where I didn't want to go to Planet Fitness, and I would just go like run around the park, and there would just be a ton of dudes just fucking working out on the jungle gym. Mm-hmm. And I tried to do it once. It was just like me and like 20 black dudes. And they were just all looking at me like, what's this fucking dude doing? But like, it does feel good to just work out on the things in your environment.
Yeah.
Just like a city workout.
And calisthenics, like the bodies on people that are serious about calisthenics are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I really want to do now that I've figured out the pull-up?
What?
My New Year's resolution was to be able to do 5, and I got to 5
you already got there.
In February. So I was like, fuck, that was too easy.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to do a muscle up.
Is that the thing? Is that where you like go on your head and you?
No, it's when you pull yourself up and you get the bar to your hips. So your arms are like this and the bar's at your hips. You see like gymnasts doing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like all the way up.
All the way up.
Yeah. That's like a gymnast thing.
I know. I really want to train it.
That would be great if you can do it. That's so hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm watching tutorials. I'm trying to practice. I'm trying to learn this variation called a chicken wing muscle up where you get like your one elbow up first and then you try to hoist it. But I was trying it the other day and I was like irritating the skin on my forearm.
This is the Ukrainian Russian in you wanting to get into like fucking gymnastics. Yeah. I mean, that you guys crush that stuff.
And I'm so sad that I didn't really pursue that type of thing as a kid. I did dance for a while, but I didn't do any kind of gymnastics. I would have loved it.
It's so brutal on kids, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's like it gets very close to abuse. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know. I'm not, dance. Once you get past like the age of 7. And they really start yelling at you. Mm-hmm. It's something about it's wrong because you're like in a tutu.
Yeah.
And being screamed at.
But I did used to get blue ribbons.
When you would dance? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you do like competitive sports at all or besides?
I did a little bit of track. I had no business doing track. I'm not a good runner, but I was doing 400 sprints for a little while.
Okay.
And that was, I think, freshman and sophomore year of high school. And then I discovered marijuana and then all of that came to a stop.
Okay.
I worked out through college. I would go to yoga class in the gym and stuff, but no more competitive athletics after like 10th grade.
Okay.
Did you?
I did. I did baseball and then I rode on the crew team,
that's pretty badass. Crew team? That's like cool.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We were very bad.
It's different.
It's pretty preppy, which I don't love, but I did go to a Catholic school, so. It was weird because like I wasn't very good at baseball. I love baseball. I would have loved to have gone and done that all the way through high school, but I just wasn't that good. And then the crew team was like brand new and they needed people. Mm. And I'm also terrible for crew because you want to like an ideal rower is like a tall, jacked dude, not like a short, pudgy kid. But I was like, I got this. And because it was a new team, like I was like one of the better guys on the team. So like I did it for the full 4 years, and the team got better.
Where did you guys row?
On the Potomac. It was I was in DC. So I mean it's beautiful. Like it would the best would be when you were like rowing early in the morning, and it would be like the sun's coming up, and you would like all the monuments are like right there, and you would just be rowing past it. It was like very picturesque cool.
And I watched people row in the marina.
Yeah, but where's the marina in Marina Del Rey? You mean? Yeah. I was like, is there a marina in Cleveland that I'm not? Beautiful Cleveland Lake.
No, but I think when I see the teams doing it out in the marina, I think, what a privileged hobby.
It really is. It's very costly. Just like the boats are super expensive.
Of course.
But yeah, like once you, I mean, I don't know. It's not as expensive. The most expensive one is hockey. Hockey's so
surprising.
Fucking expensive.
Is it really? I would think it was like something else.
It's hockey.
Huh.
I don't know that.
Golf is.
I don't think golf's that expensive.
Really?
You get a club. You get some balls. Like for hockey, it's like.
Don't you always have to pay for the holes, the golf course?
Maybe. Everything I'm saying is complete bullshit and needs to be thrown out, and it's based on nothing but my gut feeling. But I do remember hockey being expensive. I had a friend that played hockey, and he said it was expensive.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like how regionally there's all these different sports. I dated a guy that went to college out here, and he was on his college's surf team. I was like, you had a surf team?
That's pretty cool.
But that is cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
What school did he go to?
Loyola.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there's no surfing in D.C., but I would have done it if I could have.
Yeah. None in Kent State either, where I went.
Oh, wow. There was a terrible thing that happened at that school.
Yeah, we are the OG of school shootings.
You really
I'm
are.
proud of that. I guess I shouldn't be, but
yeah,
we are the OG.
Kent State.
Yeah.
You guys are the Golden Flashes?
Correct. Good job.
Okay. Yes, and your rival is Akron.
I suppose.
Or is it Bowling Green?
Not really. I don't feel Kent isn't. Nobody rivals with Kent.
Yeah.
No one cares.
You guys are in the MAC. I know that, the Mid-American Conference, and I sometimes watch Kent State football games. And
our basketball teams, I think, at least when I was there, were good.
It's easy to have a good basketball team. You only need 6 guys.
Yeah.
If you can just convince like 2 dudes and their friends, like a guy and 2 friends, like just come to this school. We'll supply you with hookers and get everybody jobs in your family. You can have a good basketball team for 4 years. It's possible.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. We are at time, and I run a tight ship here. We never go over.
I always respect professionalism.
We never go over 75 minutes. So definitely tell my listeners where they can find your podcast, follow you online, all that good stuff.
Terrific. Follow me on YouTube. The show is Galina, Rivina, Podcastina, and my social media is Thumb Galina. So a little play on Thumbelina.
Multiple puns.
Yes.
In the tags.
That's so many.
Thanks for coming on. It was super fun having you.
Thank you for having me.